Hi, my name is Kari. I'm 33 years old, and I'm a victim of rape. I decided today that I was going to take back my life, that I was going to start putting a voice to what happened to me, and not to me, but to others I know as well. The struggles and the pain and the hardship that goes along suffering from being raped is unlike any other pain I've ever experienced in my life. And I've had a great deal of pain in my life. I don't think people have an understanding of the effect, the toll that rape has on somebody's life. And not just the person that's the victim, but their family as well. The people that love them, their children, husbands, boyfriends, girlfriends, everyone. Your parents. Even though you're the victim, your parents still look at you differently. I know when my 14-year-old daughter did, she never looked at me the same again. Rape is something that does more than tear apart a person's body. It breaks their heart, their fight, their will. And for me, it broke my soul. So I don't think I could be alone in that. There has to be others that feel the same. But I do. I feel broken to my soul. I want to be able to show and tell the struggles that I go through on a daily basis because of this, the effects it's had on my life. But along with that, I also want to show the world the strength that I get day by day, the progress I make, the steps that will get me to be a better person and over this, or maybe not over, I guess is the wrong way to say it, but able to function and cope with it on a daily basis better. I want them to be able to see not only the pain, but the happiness and the growth that I experience. I made a video one other time. It's grainy and it's bad quality. It was on a kid's camera, but the doctor had told me once that sometimes seeing yourself in a situation makes you look at a situation different. So I recorded myself once. After the rape, there was a few times where I broke down, I lost it. And this day I wasn't strong enough to keep going. And so I wrote and I put it on Facebook, and I recorded myself having a breakdown. And after I watched that video, I realized that there's millions of women out there in this world who's felt the same pain. And that maybe, just maybe, that video showing that pain and that struggle might help show somebody how cruel of an action rape can be. So at some point, when I'm a little bit more comfortable, since this is the first time I've ever done anything like this, I'll put that video up. But for now, I'd like to take the time to fill you in on a little bit about me in my case. I, for the last 10 years, lived in a very small community in Minnesota. I was married and had children. Unfortunately, my ex-husband and I realized that our lives were meant to be connected, but not with each other in marriage any longer. So we parted ways. After our separation, I got involved with a gentleman who was the mayor of the town I had moved to after my divorce. Small town of 300 people. And I quickly fell in love with the man that he presented to be to me. Anything you could ever want, he was. Had many people warn me and tell me, be careful, you're going to get hurt. But he just had a way of convincing me that no matter what happened, everything would be okay because we had each other. I fell in love. Well, I don't know if I fell in love. More so, I realized that I could love again. And in our relationship, I knew from the start that he called the shots, he controlled the rules. And one night, shortly after I finally ended things with him, I went back to the home that we lived in together, and we started having sex. And I initiated it, and everything was fine, and he wanted to have anal sex, and I said absolutely not, I don't want to. We've been doing it too much lately, I don't want to be hurt, it's painful, I don't want to do it. And when that wasn't something I was willing to do, he asked if I would do it to him. And he had never asked me to do anything like that to him before, and I told him, no, I don't want to do it because you've never asked before. It's not something I'm interested in doing. And he wouldn't let go of it and kept pushing it, and we finished, and he yelled at me to go and get my toy so that I could use it on him. And I went downstairs and I pretended to be looking for it, and he came down looking for me and sent me back upstairs, so I went to bed, and he came up and we started having sex again, and he persisted on wanting to have anal, and I told him no. Well, we had gotten into a fight earlier that night, and he told me I'd be punished for it, and I was used to that. And after I refused to have anal with him, he grabbed my legs in, spread them open. He pushed me towards the headboard where my shoulder kind of locked into place and my head was pinned against the board. He asked me if I remembered about being told I was going to be punished. And I said, yeah. And he said good and something else, but I just don't remember what it was. But he said good. And he slammed himself into me. And I yelled. And he said, shut up. My boys are here. And they can't walk in on that. And he was right. They were. And I love those kids. I really love those kids. So I didn't yell again. But I kept telling him, stop. Knock it off. Don't do this. It hurts. It's like every time I said stop or it hurt, and I tried to pull away, you would get the smile on his face. A gross smile on his face. Like he found joy in my pain. I'll never forget that face. After he got done, he pulled out. And he came all over my shirt. And he said, I just wanted to hate fuck you. I'm done with you now. So I got up. I ripped off that shirt as quick as I could and dropped it in the doorway as I was walking out of the room. And I had to get out of there. I had to get out of there. So I grabbed the first clothes that I found. They were his son's dirty clothes. And I put them on without thinking or realizing. And I got in my car and I left. He went to sleep. He rolled over and went to sleep. So I ran to my friend Angel. The next day, I went to ask a friend if I could borrow his car so I could go into town to tell the police what had happened to me. She told me that I didn't have to go anywhere. They had come to me. That they would come to me, and they did. I didn't tell the police right away who did this to me. I didn't think they were going to believe me. It's a small town, he's the mayor. I didn't want to hurt the kids, his or mine. I didn't want him to hurt me again. I didn't want to be called a liar. So I made my report. I did the right thing. And the next day, I decided that I needed to tell the police who he was for a couple of different reasons, and I can get into all that later, but I finally gave him his name. And after doing so, my whole world fell apart. My biggest fear was because of who he was. Connections he had. Nobody would care or believe me or do anything about it. I went to the media and I told them the same thing. I told them I had faith that with the help of the judicial system and the police, that the right thing would be done. Not just for me, but the other two women that he hurt too. Because of a loophole. About 10 months after this all came about, charges were dropped against Steve Sortland for rape, for anally raping me. But I won't give up. I won't stop fighting. I will make sure people know that you can't do this and get away with it. was the last person you should have done this to. Because I will make sure your day of reckoning comes and the court finds you guilty for what you did to me. You will sit behind bars and you will pay for not what you just did to me, but to those other women and to my children for their life and their mother being destroyed because of your actions. For the pain you caused so many of my friends and my family who loved me. For you breaking my soul. I will fight to make this right.